What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of the Fallen for Film podcast. I am your host, Ryan O'Toole, and episode 20 is going down right now. And Colin Williams, my co-host, episode 20, dude. I just can't believe we are in the 20s now. Colin, how are you? You're going through a hurricane almost. You had to film the episode at your mom's house. Tell us the story, man.
Okay. So it's crazy. As you guys all know, I've said it like every podcast. I just moved. I finally moved, and I'm all set. But we're waiting on Wi-Fi at my house, and because there's just craziness going on in the world and stuff, it's just been some complications there. And I don't have Wi-Fi. And I'm in a hurricane and I'm staying at the house all by myself. So I was like, I'll stay with my mom who has Wi-Fi. So recording the podcast at my mom's house in my brother's old room, who ironically has the same paint color as my office that I used to record in, my new house's room where I record in. So I guess I just like baby blue. I have a beer for the first time ever on the podcast. I'm drinking a beer because I think it's actually appropriate to drink a beer in these crazy times. So I could cut out in the middle of the podcast because a hurricane is wiped through, and my power.
It's gonna come.
So we will see. But yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, you're just destined to be in a blue background every time, no matter where you go, no matter where you move. It's gonna be blue. Since he's drinking a Miller Lite, I'm drinking classic Burger King. Which is what this podcast is sponsored by. I'm just kidding. But anyway, welcome to episode 20, guys. We have a huge, exciting episode here. We have a lot of Disney news to talk about. Pixar, Disney Plus, Marvel, and we got an awesome game. And we have a special guest right here. You may know this guy. He talks a lot about Disney on his channel. I love this guy. I've been wanting to collab with him, and I invited him on the podcast, and he said, yes, it is Dave Lee Down Under. Dave, how you doing? Welcome to the podcast, man.
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing, and can't wait to get into it.
It's crazy. You live in Australia.
I can't wait either, man. It's
crazy. This is our latest podcast we've ever recorded.
Australia.
A 10-hour difference. Listen to that accent, man. It's infectious, man. Every time I listen to his videos, I'm like, whoa, there it is, accent.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
There it is.
I get a lot of comments from people going, what's this voice? I hate this voice.
It's almost like you have an Australian accent, but an accent within the Australian accent where it's like, so I guess I don't want to say strong, but just so like vibrant and like almost not even real. It's like you'd be like a great like I don't know, I guess a voice actor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it's something like in an animated movie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm from Melbourne, so our accents actually a little bit a bit softer than the rest of the country. So it's not quite like the the real Australian accent that you might hear on the old like Crocodile Dundee films and stuff like that. But I feel like I just put on a bit of a you got to be energetic all the time. I mean, it's hard to be energetic at 9 a.m. sometimes, but I'll do my best for you guys.
Well, that's hilarious that you're from the Melbourne area because literally I used to live in a town called Melbourne, but it's Melbourne, Florida.
There you go.
And I remember I went to New York City one time. I went to a comedy club and I sat front row. So naturally, if you go to a comedy club and you sit front row, that means they're just going to make fun of you the entire time. And oh my God, the jokes I heard were they people just making fun of me, the comedics. But the host of the show asked me where I was from, and I said Melbourne. And because like I live on like the east coast of Florida, so like I live in a pretty small town, but Melbourne's a little bit more well known. But apparently that's this guy, and he's like, "You don't have an Australian accent," just like making fun of me, thinking I was lying. I was like, no, it's Melbourne, Florida. So that's pretty funny that Melbourne, Australia. I mean, clearly Melbourne, Australia is the more popular town, but that's kind of where I'm in that area. I actually posted on my Instagram story when people were like asking me about the hurricane. I like circled my like where I'm at. I'm like, that's me. It's literally right where the hurricane's going.
It's crazy. What is going on with this year? This is the craziest year. We have just gone into full lockdown here in Melbourne, literal full lockdown today. Like we reopened we literally reopened, and then our cases were spiking like crazy, and then we go just lockdown like crazy again. It's insane, man. We've got curfew and everything. It's nuts. It's crazy. And they got hurricane, and oh my lord, what's going on?
I can only imagine what's going to happen for the rest of the year for sure. As far as
we're in halftime right now. It's like after the hurricane, that's like okay, now we're back to COVID.
Insane.
The COVID cane. COVID cane. So anyway, gentlemen, what we usually do before we even talk about podcast news is we like to talk about what we've been doing recently. Despite, Colin going through hurricane preparations right now, we watch lots of movies. Well, for me personally, I've been watching lots of movies this week. Let's see. I binge watched the Indiana Jones movies so I could do a ranking of them. I've been watching a lot of Nolan movies as of recently. What did I watch last week? I watched Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Inception as well. So it's a lot of movies I've been watching. And I watched The Spectacular Now, which Colin picked for me to watch for the Culture Project. So yeah, I've watched tons of movies. Colin, what did you watch despite your business?
It's despite my busyness, man. I watched Yes God Yes. It was kind of a new movie that came out by Southwest last year, but then had a wide release. Finally, it went straight to VOD. I watched that because I was on Griffin Schiller's Film Speak channel on his live film forum, and we reviewed that together. Then, of course, I watched Hacksaw Ridge, which we'll talk about later. Then I did randomly just watch Fast 5 because I got Fast 5 on Blu-ray. I got the whole Fast Furious set, and that's maybe my favorite one. I don't know. Fury 7 just kind of brings the man tears out. And then I watched this movie. I don't even know if you guys have heard of this film. It's called The Producers. It's a comedy from the 1960s. Have you guys seen that?
Brilliant film. Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, so my buddy that one of my good friends, he does stand-up comedy. He's an aspiring stand-up comedian. So he loves well-written, good comedies and some of the old obscure kind of stuff. So I'd seen most of the ones from the 21st century. That's the time I kind of grew up in. So those ones I can appreciate. But we watched that one and it was just super a part of its time, but really, I don't want to say hilarious, but very witty and well written and extremely clever. Yeah, very well directed. And it's something that we could appreciate. It's about these two producers for a play who try and make the worst play possible because they found out if they get a lot of money from investors and the play tanks, they don't have to pay those people back, and then they could just pocket the rest of the money. And it's just super funny, and it's really hilarious, and it sets place in New York, and I really dug that movie. So that was the movie I saw last night, and then I watched Pop Star Never Stop Stopping, another comedy.
I've been meaning to watch that.
That movie is so funny, dude. So Dave, what have you been watching, man?
I've watched way too much, just like you boys. I get up every morning and I watch a movie every morning if I can before I get into work, just because. I feel like if I watch something first thing, I'm creatively energized anyway. So I just watch a crazy mixed bag of stuff. I've had this pile of Blu-rays that I just haven't watched, hundreds of them. I just haven't watched it. So this year I've been this is the year to just get one done every morning. I've been watching some just stuff all over the place. Yesterday morning I watched one called The Postman, which is this Kevin Costner epic from the early 1990s. Not great. Not one of his best.
I've never heard of it either.
Post-apocalyptic film set in 2013, where he
2013.
he gets captured by this militia group, and then that's the first hour of the film, and then he escapes and he finds this skeleton with a postman's uniform on, and he takes the uniform and the bag of mail, and he makes it his mission to go and deliver all the mail, and that's it. That's the next 2 hours of the film. It's all right. The Kevin Costner film. I watched another Kevin Costner film, The Bodyguard, a couple of days before that, which was all right.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
What else? I watched a Laurel and Hardy film this morning. It's a film from 1937.
Oh, yeah.
Great classic comedy. I'm trying to find what else I've watched. It's such a mixed bag. An Aussie film called The Dish. It's about when they did the moon landing. In the first moon landing, the television broadcast was broadcast from Australia, so we were the only ones who had the dish big enough to be able to broadcast the satellite around the world. So it was a film about that. Just a big mixed bag of just random stuff, really.
That's funny you mentioned the
awesome.
Blu-rays that you haven't checked out. Because I haven't had Wi-Fi in my house. One thing I have power, so I haven't been able to dive into some Blu-ray because I usually sometimes I'll go to streaming services or whatever to find stuff. But I have still a bunch of Blu-rays that I haven't dived into. So I watched La La Land. I had seen La La Land, but it had been a while since I'd seen La La Land.
Great movie.
When I saw it in theaters, I fell asleep because I was sick, and even when that, I was kind of like, I didn't like dislike the movie or anything. I just didn't get the full experience I needed for it to kind of buy into the hype for me personally. And so I watched that again and stuff. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, just some movies like that. I have on Blu-ray that I'm trying to like dive deep into that I haven't seen yet, because I have some that I own, but I've yet to see it. One is Blade Runner. I have not seen the first Blade Runner. I need to see that.
Right. I've actually never watched it properly. I watched it, I think the only time I've watched it was in maybe a media class in high school, and it was so like over 3, 4, 5 classes. I've never actually sat and watched the full thing. I need to do that myself.
In my film class in college, we had to examine Blade Runner for like a homework assignment, and I watched certain scenes of it, and like I had to like really break down what the film was about, and it was the most difficult thing I had to do. But yeah, Blade Runner, Colin, it's overrated for me. Blade Runner 2049 is just superior, way times better. I know you saw that. As far as like, I think if you watch both movies, I think they're both different in their own ways. Like if you watch 2049 and you haven't seen the first Blade Runner, I don't think you'll be lost fully. There may be some parts you maybe have to watch Blade Runner for, but I think they're just completely different movies, like story-wise.
So it's been an interesting week for me. Just moved and craziness, but I guess that's the silver lining with no Wi-Fi is I can dive into some Blu-rays. But man, I'm excited to get into the podcast though. We got some interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we can get right into the news, guys. But before we get into the news, if you guys are just tuning into the Fallen for Film podcast for the first time, or if you're coming from Dave's channel and you don't know what it is, if you want to watch this podcast, you don't have time to watch it on YouTube, we have podcast platforms. We have Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. Go check us out over there. Let's say you're at work or you're driving somewhere. You want to listen to us. You can listen to us over there. Leave us a review and a rating over on iTunes. Say whatever you want. We appreciate the positive feedback, guys. Thank you for those of you that have left us reviews on there and ratings. Again, podcast platform links are in the description of this video. So, episode 20. This is a huge movie news in regards to Disney, and we have a perfect person, Dave Lee, to talk about Disney news here. What a coincidence. So I think we should just get right into the biggest news topic this week. We're getting a new Pixar movie next year called Luca. It's directed by Enrico Casarosa and produced by Andrea Warren. The film will follow a boy named Luca as he experiences an unforgettable summer in a seaside town on the Italian Riviera. So it's coming out next summer. I think we're all pretty much excited regardless. It's a Pixar movie, so what's there not to be excited about? I got to start with Dave first on his thoughts on Luca all around. So Dave, what's your anticipation for this?
Oh, very excited. Very excited. I've been hanging to see Soul this year. I don't know when on earth that's actually going to get released, but I think I'm like super more excited for this one. This just sounds awesome. It's like I'm a child of the 90s, so I can remember when the first Toy Story was released. So I've been alive for this whole span of the entire Pixar films. Mm-hmm. And it just feels to me, this just feels like a classic, like one of the classic ones that came out when I was a kid. I haven't been huge on a lot of the films that they've released recently. I feel like most people are probably the same, where the quality has kind of been up and down. There's kind of dipped, and there's like some real gems in between. But then there's stuff like Cars
Inside Out
or Finding Dory.
And Finding
Inside
Dory.
Out, and then you had Good Dinosaur.
Exactly right.
Kind of.
But this kind of feels to me like that classic, like golden age, if you want to call it golden age Pixar stuff. I just can't be excited. I can't be more excited. But I have an Italian heritage myself. So my mother is Italian, and the whole Italian thing with this, the culture thing, it just gets me really, really excited for it. So yeah, I can't wait.
I love it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a Coco situation. They're going more of the international style. We had the Mexican with Coco. Now we're getting into Italian with Luca. Just, I can't wait. I mean, just like you said, Dave, I'm always more interested in original Pixar stuff.
Oh, for sure.
I do love the sequels, like with Toy Story 4 and Incredibles 2. But whenever we do get an original Pixar film, especially Soul, that's probably my most anticipated. I'm just wondering if it's going to get a Disney Plus release or a movie theater release. I prefer the theaters, but I can't wait for that. But Luca, like you already explained the plot. I'm already interested in it, and I really hope it's very unique. Colin?
Yeah, man. My first time hearing of the plot was when you just said it. I just saw the picture. With Pixar, it's just like they announce something. I'm just like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm in. You know, like they usually have some kind of interesting name to it or something. Kind of those like one word titles like Coco, Soul, Luca, or what's it called again? Luca.
Luca.
Yeah, Luca, and just like stuff like that. It's kind of like overly simplistic little names or whatever. And I mean, dude, I dig it, especially when you like break down the premise and you know, I'm really interested too with like the animation. You see like more tropical type stuff like summertime. Sounds like he'll probably encounter some friends and have an epiphany of some sort, maybe of a coming of age kind of vibe. You know how I like those. So man, I don't have crazy thoughts except for just like I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's like summertime sounds like a perfect release for the type of genre that it is, and hopefully it makes a boatload of money so we can get more great Pixar work.
Now,
go ahead. The one thing that's gone under the radar here with this film, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about it because this wasn't actually put out in the tweet that Pixar put out, but it was actually sent out in a press release. And I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but Luca has a secret. He's a sea monster. That's what it said. I've got the press release up here right now. In one wonderful summer, Luca bonds with a new best friend and shares gelato, pasta, and scooter rides. But their idyllic friendship may be threatened by Luca's secret. He's actually a sea monster.
Okay.
All right.
This whole fantastical thing, this mystical thing coming into it, the classic Pixar, and then, as you said, coming of age story. Everything just gets me really excited.
I have a question for you, Dave, because as a big Pixar guy, I'm sure you're aware of the Pixar theory, right? That they kind of is in the same universe. Do you think with Onward now and now something where like a sea monster would be, does this kind of break the Pixar theory completely now, or is it still up in the air at this point?
I feel like I've never been one to really, subscribe to the whole Pixar theory as gospel, really. But I feel like because it is such a like fan theory thing, there's always going to be a way there's always going to be a way for someone to link them all up in some crazy way. Really, I think.
Yeah, everyone just loves cinematic universe. Like this is
exactly right.
Part of the universe. It's 2020.
This is all a big plan. It's like, hey, they could just be independent movies. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Right. Now, my question is, with next year being the biggest movie year of all time, when's the best time to release this movie? Because you got the summer movie season, May, June, July, and August. Now, I know Top Gun got moved to July next year. You got the Batman in June, and then in August, there's still a lot of movies. So I'm trying to think, what's the best time to release this
maybe
movie?
August is kind of back to school time for a lot. I don't know. Maybe I think maybe just something. I don't know. Maybe May. I don't. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, summertime is going to be a good point at any point, but I can't think of one off the top of my head that really stands out. I guess like you kind of want to limit as much competition as possible, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
I think it could be kind of a June release, or
I think it actually is set for June.
They usually go for a June release for this one. So yeah, it'll be very interesting regardless. Pixar, like you're gonna get my money. You're gonna get Colin and Dave. So I can't wait for this. So anyway, I want to talk about this next piece of movie news here. So it's from a MCU movie that a lot of people aren't anticipating yet. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has a new cast-in, Michelle Yeoh. You may know from, what was she in? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Crazy Rich Asians, and she was also in Last Christmas last year with Emilia Clarke. I really love this actress, and Shang-Chi, adding in her, just the concept alone, that just gets me even more pumped for the movie in terms of the action all around. And Colin, I want to get your take on this overall. Are you familiar with Michelle Yeoh all around?
Actually, no. All the movies you listed, I haven't seen. Crazy Rich Asians, I've seen bits and parts to it. But isn't the guy in Crazy Rich Asians? Isn't he going to be in Shang-Chi too? Or is that something else? Or he was in Last Christmas, is what it was. Because you mentioned those two movies. Yeah, so he was in The Gentleman. I know that.
The Gentleman. He was the villain.
But as far as her, I don't know who she is. I've never seen any movies. But as far as Shang-Chi, I also did see that there was going to be that they started building the set today. I saw something on Twitter about that, and they kind of building it looked like a little kind of town. So yeah, I mean, Shang-Chi, I mean, it's kind of a lot of people's least anticipated next MCU movie because of just the I guess the mystery of it, how much kind of do we really know about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any crazy thoughts because I don't really know who the girl is very much. Dave, do you have?
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. As you mentioned, Ryan, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. Have you seen that, Ryan?
I have seen Crouching Tiger. It's an excellent movie. Love that movie.
You gotta check it out, Colin. Amazing.
Culture project.
She's fantastic, and I'm really excited about this. She's done some really, really fantastic work in the past. She was in one of the James Bond films as well, one of the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yes. What was it?
I'm surprised they're still casting people though.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she's really good. I'm looking. I can't wait for that. I'm excited.
I'm just surprised they're still casting people though. That's kind of my thing.
Well, that is interesting because they were supposed to start filming already, I think. But unless it's one of those, it could be they cast someone and then they don't announce it for a while, sort of thing.
Yeah. I was always that was kind of when Mandalorian news happened. They're oh, we casted all these people, and afterwards, and then you're then they're oh yeah, we're still on track to have the season come out in October. It's wait, have you even started filming? You guys,
yeah.
So you've had to film this. I don't know how you kept it under wraps, but I guess they did. What
you'll get a lot of the time is that they will have people cast, but then they don't announce them right up until the last moment before they start filming, because once they start filming and they're on open set, so if they're filming on location, you're gonna have paparazzi and stuff gonna catch images of these people on the set, so they just announce it before it sort of gets out there. But I don't know what the point of leaving it so late is, especially when they've announced the rest of the cast a year ago.
Yeah, and then the director, he directed something. Who was the guy that directed?
Dustin Daniel Green. He did Just Mercy. He did
Just Mercy. Just Mercy was phenomenal. I love Just Mercy. That's the one that he directed.
The Glass Castle.
And Short Term 12. Short Term 12 is really good too.
And Short Term 12.
Have you guys seen Short Term 12?
No, I haven't.
That was one I haven't checked out. No.
Yeah, Brie Larson's in it. It's really good.
Yeah, and Brie Larson was in Just Mercy. So also Michelle Yeoh is also going to be in the Avatar movies too, the sequels. She's going to be in all of them.
Oh, okay.
I just checked that out. So
They're never coming out.
Yeah.
Well.
Michelle Yeoh, I really love this actress. Love her in Crouching Tiger. Love her in Crazy Rich Asians. She plays the Henry Golden's mother. She's really strict in that movie, but I loved her performance. And in Last Christmas, I thought she was really funny too. And as far as just this cast and all alone, I can already imagine she's going to play an awesome character, action-wise, because we know she could do action really well. And with Shang-Chi, just brings exciting action all around. You got Awkwafina in the cast, and you're going to bring back the real Mandarin this time in Shang-Chi, thank goodness, and the Ten Rings. So
yeah. I like the Mandarin twist. I know.
I love it. I love it.
I loved Iron Man. Oh yeah, I know. I watched your rankings of it, dude. I do like
it more.
Iron Man 3 is absolutely amazing. I love it so much.
I like it, but that twist though. But anyway, That'd be. I think we all know how we want Shang-Chi to open up. Just Trevor Slattery and the Mandarin kills him. That'd be awesome. The
Just
real
like-
Mandarin kills him.
Yeah.
Just pull just a retcons like everything in the
Why
very
did you imitating me? Now you're going to die. So yeah, this gets me more pumped now. The cast is great. The director's really great. So this could be great. I'm really excited for Shang-Chi.
Interesting choice too. Like I mean, the director's Short Term 12 and Just Mercy are just straight up dramas, you know. And this is gonna be like full on like a martial arts movie. Dude, that's gonna be sick. I'm excited to see that. Some martial arts.
I mean, think about it. The Russo brothers, you know, their roots were in comedy before they
yeah.
did the Avengers films.
Yeah,
I think Marvel. Yeah, well, exactly. But Marvel have such just a real good eye just for really good creative people, and whether that is comedy or drama or action or whatever, and just finding that creative spark in someone and being able to translate that to whatever project. And I think that's amazing. That's what gets me excited about this project.
The guy from Elf doing Iron Man.
Oh, exactly right.
Like, okay. With a washed-up actor who's an alcoholic. It just lightning in the bottle.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
And the actor playing Shang-Chi is Simu Liu, so I'm looking forward to that. Shang-Chi gets me more excited now just with this casting. All around, I'm looking forward to it now. So let's talk about Spider-Man 3. We got a exciting addition to the cast. We're going to get Flash Thompson back, Tony Revolori, who we may have seen from Homecoming and Far From Home all around. Really like Tony Revolori. Loved him in Grand Budapest Hotel and in these movies all around. Colin, I know you're the Spider-Man guy, so I want to get your take all around on your thoughts on Spider-Man.
Am I the Spider-Man guy? Is that what I am now? I'm the Spider-Man guy now. Is that just what I am now?
Yep, you're the Spider-Man guy. So let's talk about it. Do you like Flash Thompson, Tony Revolori, Colin?
I'm trying to think. I saw him in something. I'm gonna look him up. What's his name again?
Tony Revolori. So
Tony Revolori. Okay, I saw a movie with him in it. Like and it's something else. He was like in a movie that I saw like recently that he was really great in, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But he's I actually like that interpretation of Flash Thompson. Very modern take. It feels very like 21st century, which is a smart thing to do. Man, I really dig him as an actor and just the portrayal that he gives as Flash Thompson, like I said, kind of more modern. And we kind of get to know him more, whereas like the first Raimi Spider-Man, what he said, like one fight with Peter Parker, that one point, and he's just got like frost tips, basically. He doesn't, but they're just like super spiky hair and just, it looks like he's like 31 years old.
Parker.
Penis Parker. And, I mean, and then I actually didn't mind. Oh, I know what I saw him in. Dope. Have you guys seen the movie Dope?
Yeah,
I have not. I know the director did one of the Mandalorian episodes.
Oh my god! Oh yeah! Oh my god!
He did episode 2. I've been to check out Dope
too. He did episode 6 as well. The movie's phenomenal. Okay, so Dope, he's in it and he plays like one of the friends in there, and he's great in that as well. Yeah, I'm a fan of him. And then he did, like you said, Grand Budapest Hotel, and so I'm glad he's back. He's good Flash Thompson. And it fits that he's a big fan of Spider-Man. He's also kind of like nerdy too, in a sense. He's kind of his own little dweeb, but he's just a douche, And I love that part in Homecoming. He's like, that linguine was not fresh or whatever he said, or it's just like, I know when it's fresh.
I got a date with Black Widow tomorrow night.
He's my favorite Flash Thompson for sure. Dave, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I love him. I love the MCU Spider-Man films. They're fantastic. Again, I'm showing my age here, but I grew up with the original Spider-Man movies. They're like some of, if not the first, like superhero films I ever saw in cinemas. So I have a bit of a soft spot for those. And you look back on them, they're cheesy and they're corny, but they're still so much fun. But I love the twist they put on everything in these MCU ones. And I feel it's so much closer in some respects to the comic, especially like the early 1960s comics. These MCU films, especially the take on Peter Parker, and I just love the modern twist that they put on some of these characters as well, especially Flash Thompson, which is it's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and that's what you want with Spider-Man. You know, the character in the comics they were always just so funny. Those original 60s Stan Lee Spider-Man.
You're not allowed to say you like MCU Spider-Man on the internet because there's people that are very upset by it.
I'm well aware.
And to be fair, I've had my criticisms of the character and I've explained it on the podcast. But I mean, I love Tom Holland and I love Far From Home and I like Homecoming quite a bit, actually. I just always kind of preferred, I guess, the more mature adult versions that we got.
Adult
like the
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm pro adult Peter Parker. I've always had. I know, actually, I wasn't. I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to a younger one. And then as soon as we got it, I was like, I kind of just like the more badass version, just not so kiddie and like kind of more timid that we get with Tom Holland. What they ask him to do is fantastic. And with, like you said, the modern take on the characters, I don't mind like MJ, not being a redhead and stuff like that. I really, really dig a lot of the things that MCU does. I'm not crazy about the whole tech stuff, but even just like the Sam Raimi films with like the visceral action and just kind of the more mature themes I connect to. But I mean, the modern takes that the MCU's done are justified because you have to change it up and you have to get yourself away from the first two interpretations for sure. So I agree with the sentiment that you would like it. Oh,
and I mean,
Ryan just exited for a second. So we got these black bars in the middle of the stream. So sorry about that, guys. He's gonna join in just a second, but I'll run the show while Dave fixes it up. And looks like we are in jail right now as we kind of
in quarantine. Here he is.
There we go. He's back. He's back in black. What's up? He's back in white.
That's me 4 times on Elliot's stream last night.
Oh god. Hey, it happens. All right, Dave, what were you saying, man?
The thing I think the best thing with the MCU is it's so long term. I mean, you got to think Tom Holland's going to be locked down in this role for 10 years at the least. I mean, most like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, they're all locked down. They've been in this franchise. Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, they've all been in this franchise for 10 years, 11 years. Tom Holland's going to be here for a long time. And so this is a very, very long, even longer because of his age, because he's so young. And he's a guy that loves playing this character so much. You just feel he'll just keep playing him as long as they keep saying, we're going to do another one. And I feel like as long as Marvel and Sony can, keep the friendship together. But you could be looking at like a 10, 15-year stretch where Tom Holland's playing this character and the breadth of storytelling and character arcs that could happen over this time. So you're going to see Spider-Man go... Exactly right. Yeah, so you're going to go from this really cocky young kid to a more mature character, probably in the same kind of a mold as a Tony Stark. We're going to see him go through this real human...
That's kind of the problem for me is I don't like how he has a similar arc to Tony. That's kind of like...
I understand they're going in that direction. Yeah,
I understand what you're saying with that. I mean, it's natural, and even with like the tech stuff, and like it makes sense. Like if he was friends with Tony Stark, like why wouldn't he have tech? Why wouldn't he? It just I don't know. I guess I just like the adversities that Raimi Spider-Man tackled, where like Spider-Man 2 is just like depressing as shit.
Oh yeah,
everything goes wrong for him. Like things go wrong for Peter. But I feel like it's kind of his own fault in the MCU Spider-Man.
It's a new generation.
Yeah, and he's just kind of being like an idiot, like, oh, he gave away the Edith glasses, and so now he has this problem that you caused. Like Peter Parker's stuff is kind of like just the life around him, New York City and everything, where it's like those kind of problems. So I don't know, man. I agree though. I'm looking forward to the character development of him. Like I'm just waiting for Spider-Man 3 to bring more kind of traditional aspects of the character. Seems like they kind of abandoned some things that I wish they would have dove into, like photography. Guess that's not a thing in this Spider-Man, but it is what it is. It's a different interpretation. If I hate it so much, I can just go to Raimi. So,
I think he'll come to his full form in the third one. I think they're two different Spider-Mans as well. You look at Tobey Maguire. He's obviously was 30 around the time when he did the first Spider-Man. And yeah, it's a completely different Spider-Man. He's dealing with a lot of personal problems and, it's a much tougher Spider-Man as well. The action was more gritty in those films. And then Andrew Garfield was the same way. But I think with Tom Holland, I think they went with the more, young adult style, the teenager. And, he's still maturing as a kid. He's still a kid, maturing into a man. And I think, like Dave said, within the next 10 to 15 years, imagine what Tom Holland can do as Spider-Man. He could be better than Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, with him maturing throughout the years as the character and him as a person all around us. So I really enjoy the teenage Spider-Man all around. That's how I interpreted him through comics and the cartoon series. And I just think all of the different Spider-Mans we've had, even with Shameik Moore as Miles Morales in Spider-Verse.
Speaking of Shameik Moore, he was in Dope. He was the main character in Dope.
Yes, he was. He was. And I think they all bring their own great interpretations to the character all around. And Jake Johnson, too, whichever Spider-Man they're playing. So
yeah.
Yeah, Jake Johnson. I love New Girl, bro. Do you watch New Girl, Dave? You seen New Girl?
No, I've never watched that one.
That was though. He's so good in it. That's why. And then I didn't know that he was gonna be Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse or like Peter B. Parker or whatever. And then I'm hearing like the chat. I'm like, hey, that's Nick from New Girl. It's great. It's a fantastic show. It's one of the more underrated sitcoms for sure.
Is that's the one with Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah,
for
sure. That one's great.
Yeah, never got around to seeing it.
Yeah,
it does look good though.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 3 all around. You got Flash Thompson back. You got Peter Parker back. You got Zendaya back. And you're going to hopefully have Mysterio alive. I hope that happens. And then you got some more villains coming in there. What villains are you kind of hoping to see, Dave?
Oh, you got to go the full Sinister Six, surely. I mean, we've already had like teas of like the Scorpion and stuff. And I don't know. I just think Spider-Man... Yeah. I think Spider-Man had such a cool rogues gallery, and I love Venom. I've always loved Venom, and I'm not huge on like the whole cross contamination of different universes and the Spider-Verse, the Sonyverse versus the MCU and whatever. But if they can make it work, I think that'd be really cool. If we can see,
you meant to call it Sony Pictures of
Marvel. Universe of Marvel characters. I don't even remember the universe.
I will say though, I'm sick of hearing like how long we were there. We've been trying to set up the Sinister Six for like
so long.
Since 2014.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid after the first Spider-Man movie. Oh, they're going to do Sinister Six next time.
Spider-Man.
So I've been waiting for a long time.
I think since 2007. Yeah.
They've been setting it up even since probably when you saw Dr. Connors in Spider-Man 2. That's when we really kind of that was some hinting at it, and then I think the villain in Spider-Man 4 was supposed to be. Maybe I think they said Mysterio.
It's supposed to be Vulture.
Yeah.
I thought I saw art for Mysterio. I don't know. Maybe there were some different concepts. I don't know. But
Sam Raimi. Raimi wanted Vulture. Sony wanted Venom. So it's a great historic story there with Spider-Man 4. Oh, we should have got it. But all around, I've been wanting the Sinister Six. But I always say you can't have the Sinister Six without Mysterio, and you can't really without Doc Ock. I really want Alfred Molina to come back as Doc Ock, but I don't think he will.
And Green Goblin too is like a character. I know we kind of gotten him a couple different times, but I would love to see somebody else play. I don't know who. Somebody
brought up Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, he would be fantastic.
Yeah, I love him for Magneto or Norman Osborn. But the Sinister Six. You got Michael Keaton for Vulture. You got Scorpion, Better Call Saul. What's his name, Colin? I don't know. But
Better Call Saul? What are you talking about?
The actor who plays Scorpion. He's from Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, his name's I think his name's Taco or Nacho. Nacho. His name is Nacho. I mean that's just his name. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. His actual name.
And supposedly, hopefully, Kraven the Hunter will be the villain. Possibly for Spider-Man 3. So the Sinister Six, I've been watching these villains and reading the comic too for Sinister Six. Like, this is something we need. This is something that I want a movie for. So, will it ever come out? That's the question.
We shall see.
So, the puzzle pieces are there, but it's not been complete.
Exactly right.
So, now, transitioning from Disney for a little bit, let's talk about some Nolan news. The Inception re-release, when that even comes out, they've confirmed that the Inception 10th anniversary re-release in theaters will include an extended look at Tenet, a new trailer for Wonder Woman 1984, and the first trailer for Dune. So these are pretty much things we've been speculating that they were going to be included, and they've been confirmed by Warner Brothers. We're going to get a look at Tenet, a new trailer for Wonder Woman, as well as Dune. So the Inception re-release, this is something that we all been looking forward to before Tenet, like seeing this movie in theaters. I mean, it's a dream come true. So, Colin, I want to get your take on this.
Yeah, actually, I got to talk about it a little bit on the film forum on Griffin's channel, a little bit on his live stream. But yeah, basically, I'll mimic a lot of what I said there. It's seeing Inception. Never saw it when it came out in theaters. Love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite movies of the last decade. Looking forward to that. Then seeing I think we're going to see a sneak peek of Dune during that whole thing as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing the trailer for that. And then Wonder Woman 84. I love the first Wonder Woman, like, with a passion. That movie's amazing. One of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And then 84 looks even better. I'm so looking forward to it. And yeah, those are my kind of quick and short thoughts, man. I will see it when it comes out, hopefully. I don't know. Florida's kind of crazy right now. So
yeah, if it's one of those cities that gets Tenet.
Yeah.
Dave, all around, what's your thoughts on Inception and this news?
Well, I saw Inception first weekend it opened, when it originally opened. It was amazing in cinemas, but I never actually got to see it in IMAX. So I'd love to see it in IMAX, but who knows if we're going to get it here. I mean, as I said, we're like full lockdown, and we have well, they're supposed to open Tenet in Australia before it opens in America, because they're rolling it out internationally first, right? Yeah. I would love to see it in IMAX if I could. Inception or Tenet, but I don't know what's going to go on there. Yeah, it would be awesome to see. But we've got here in Melbourne, we've got one of the like actual single screen IMAX theaters here, one of the original ones. I think it's either the first or the second biggest screen in the world at the moment. Sydney was the first biggest, but they bulldozed that a couple of years ago because they're rebuilding it. So I think by technicality, we're like either the biggest or the second biggest in the world. Our IMAX is amazing. It's huge. Wow. So I'd love to see it. Colin,
let's board our tickets to Australia. No.
Yeah.
I saw what movie was it? Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. I went to a press screening of that years ago, and I did like a red carpet thing. So I was interviewing people as they were going in, because we were doing that, we had to get into the cinema like just before the movie started. The only seats available at front row IMAX. It was awful. I'm like this. It's one of those literal wall-to-wall, ceiling-to-floor things. It's like this. It's terrible. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Inception, Tenet, Wonder Woman trailer. I'm looking for. We should have seen the whole movie by now, so I'm excited to see a trailer.
We've seen so many movies.
We've seen so many movies, man.
I will say though, I have seen new movies like at home, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Like some of the VOD stuff, not just that, but I'm talking about movies that came out years ago. I saw a movie from the 1960s yesterday. So there's some silver linings to it. We have to be positive, I guess.
Well, I was like 3 days away from seeing Mulan. I had my tickets for a press screening. I was getting excited, and then I was thinking, oh no. Because all these countries started like locking down, things were closing. The America canceled the basketball, and I'm thinking, oh no! And then just like right at the last moment, it's like, no, we're not opening the movie. Jeez, like 3 days away from seeing it, so that was a killer for me. I'm so excited for that movie. Anyway, I'm getting off track here, but yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it. Wonder Woman, I love Wonder Woman. I love the first film. I've not been a huge fan of the DCU so far, but I love what they're doing recently. I loved Birds of Prey. Like, dude, I thought it was incredible. Yeah,
Birds of Prey,
amazing. And if Wonder Woman's anything like that, I feel like it's got that same like real sort of punchy, vibrant, just real comic book style. I'm so excited for it.
Patty Jenkins is what she did with the first Wonder Woman, not just with the action, not just with making kind of a silly character with like a woman in a red, white, and blue outfit, kind of accessible to audiences. Not just that, but she somehow had made this tricky balance of having like the fish out of water humor where it was they played it off to where Wonder Woman was kind of cute and kind of aloof in a certain instance, but didn't like devalue her as a woman and didn't make her look weak. It was so impressive, the juggling act of like making her be a strong, female lead, but not too cute, but then also really hot at the same time. Like she made her sexy, smart, amazing, like everything. It was really a tricky balance that she had to pull off to kind of appeal to everybody. And the movie is incredible. Even the third act, people hate on the third act, but I think it hits an emotional punch with in lieu of what happens. I know most people know what happens at the end, but I won't spoil it, I guess.
Yeah, and it's tricky too with Gal Gadot. She was coming off of Fast and Furious and some other movies that she wasn't the best in, but she proved everybody wrong. I mean, she was the Wonder Woman. Like, she's perfect casting, I think. I mean, she is such a lovable human being outside of the character and as the character, too. Like, Gal Gadot, I think, is the most beautiful woman in the world right now. Like, she is just gorgeous, but as a person on the inside, too. And I'm excited for this movie all around. Like, it looks just better than the first one, just based on the trailers alone. And with Dune, like, this movie is like my most anticipated, and that's what I'm most interested. I just want to see Dune right away, get that trailer reaction out, just get pumped for it, and something great. And with Inception too. Inception, one of my favorite movies of all time, top 10 for sure. That's a film that's like #1 must see in IMAX for me. Like, just the visuals and all that. It's just an IMAX film only in the theater. So
yeah, you see an IMAX.
Yeah,
for sure. The Nolan films in IMAX are just incredible. Interstellar.
Interstellar.
See, the only Nolan film I've ever seen is in theaters is Dunkirk.
Yeah, I saw Dunkirk in IMAX. That was a great experience.
Good. Yeah, amazing.
That was so anyway, I think we talked about the Warner Brothers re-release for Inception. I think we could go back now to the Disney stuff. Let's talk about Disney Plus news now. Well, the Emmy nominations were announced this week. Lots of TV shows getting lots of nominations. I think Watchmen got 26. That's a big achievement there. But mainly I want to talk about The Mandalorian getting 15 nominations right here. You got Best Drama Series, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Guest Actor for Giancarlo Esposito, Best Score for Ludwig Göransson.
That's well-deserved, the score for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 15 nominees.
Did you happen to see who else got nominated for Best Score? Because I know the score for Euphoria was absolutely amazing. I wonder if they got...
I can look that up. Hang on.
I'll give my kind of quick thoughts while you're looking there. Actually, Dave, what do you think about this? Well, let's start with you.
It's awesome. Everything's awesome.
Everything.
No, I really like The Mandalorian. I really, really liked it. I'm not as huge on it as a lot of people are, but I thought it was really good, really just beautifully made series. And if not anything else, I just want to see this absolutely clean up on those technical awards, because the technical innovations they've made on this series is unlike anything anyone's ever seen. Did you guys watch that the documentary series they did on Disney Gallery?
I'm 3 episodes in. I just finished the 3rd episode. Was talking about the cast, and then I think the next episode's like the technology and how it went into everything. So I think that's kind of where we'll really get appreciation there for it. Yeah.
Have you seen what they did?
No, I haven't gone to the tech yet. I haven't gotten that episode. I went through directing and stuff like in the cast.
It's insane. They have literally done, it's like no need for green screen anymore, because they've developed these floor to ceiling, wall to wall, just screens. And they've built, it's essentially the technology that Jon Favreau's built between the Jungle Book and the Lion King, this whole VR stuff. It's all built within a game engine. It can be rendered like on the go. So as the cameras move, the visuals in the background moves, and all the location stuff was shot in studio.
You know what's amazing about that to me is that means we could get kind of that sounds crazy, a lower budget Star Wars movie that's kind of a smaller scale, like something like a spin-off show. Like, what if we got like a Han Solo sequel. That movie lost a lot of money, and it's because they not only did not a lot of people go see it, but I think they spent a lot of money that
They might do a series.
Yeah, well, if they did a series or just another
With
movie,
all-
if you did it in a set, kind of like what Mandalorian does, where it's kind of more like it's almost filmed like it's a show, but you make it a feature length movie. That would be really cool to make, like, kind of these just lower budget Star Wars movies that are still really awesome.
We will see this technology cross over into all sorts of movies. It's insane what they've done. I mean, as someone who's followed the evolution of just like digital tech, you know, from the first like episode, Star Wars episode 2, 3, when they started doing like the whole real like full on digital stuff. Like, this is insane.
Well, that's what George Lucas started with. He started,
George Lucas,
he created technology for A New Hope. He literally had to invent
The
technology.
technology is crazy what he did.
And
That's
he-
why I mean. That's why I admire about Star Wars so much, whether it's the original trilogy or even the prequels. I mean, what George Lucas did with both of those films. I mean, coming in the 1970s, like, he had to create the technology to be able to even do the special effects in the like late 1970s. The visual effects with models and just all that kind of stuff. And then coming into the 90s, it was, okay, well, how can we push this even further in the digital era? And it was essentially, you know, creating everything, having to create things to actually make it work.
That was
It
kind
all
of a little
starts
bit
right
part of the problem, I think, with the prequels. He was focused on pushing the technology, not storytelling. And
there. Oh,
because
exactly right. Yeah,
that's kind of
it's a double-edged sword, really.
It's a double-edged sword. You're right. And you know what's interesting about the first? I found this out from the original trilogy. The asteroids were potatoes.
Yeah,
They were potatoes. That's like that's really crazy. So
it was real guerrilla filmmaking, like especially the first film, 1977. Like, that's such a independent film. Like, when you think about it, when you actually like read about all the stuff they had to do for that, it's just real guerrilla filmmaking.
yeah.
So, Colin, you wanted to know who got nominated for score?
Yes. Yeah.
Euphoria did get nominated. Ozark got
Yeah.
nominated. Succession, The Crown, and Mandalorian.
So okay, what do you guys think about Mandal? That's cool, because I'm glad Euphoria got nominated for something, because it kind of got snubbed for best drama, in my opinion, because I think Euphoria is probably, in my opinion, more deserving than Mandalorian. I love both, but Euphoria was just one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen. That first season, it was so unabashedly real and authentic, and the cinematography, the color correction, the music, the narration, Zendaya is absolutely phenomenal. Have you guys seen the show? HBO?
I haven't seen it. We're letting you take it away.
Yeah, it's great. So that's kind of my biggest gripe, I guess, with Mandalorian getting nominated for best drama. Is I loved it, but I don't know if it's best drama material, because even as much as I loved it, I think it's cool, because I'm a Star Wars fan. So it's like, oh, it's cool seeing, like, you know, something a little bit more like sci-fi fantasy get nominated for like a prestigious award. Like, that's really, really, really cool. But if you look at The Mandalorian, it kind of wasn't really intended to be like this grandeur, like super, I guess, methodical, deep thinking kind of show that gets nominated for awards. It's just a fun family Star Wars show.
That's what it was intent. Yeah,
it was intense. It was an anthology, kind of like 4 episodes had to deal with.
For The Mandalorian, I think regardless of it being like a fun Star Wars adventure, it had a lot of heart to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did.
It had an excellent story to it. It was a great Western mixed with a father and son type of story with, you know, Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian, as well as just finding the Mandalorian, finding who he really is. I thought the story all around was excellent in the Mandalorian.
I just think it's a shocker that it did get nominated. Like, the story.
Yeah, I was shocked too.
I'm shocked it got 15 nominations.
So I'm like, wow, Star Wars.
Like, again, the technical awards, the music, I really get, like all that stuff. But like, I think best drama, it's a little interesting because it was 8 episodes, 30 minutes long. 4 of those episodes had to deal with like the through line, kind of the Baby Yoda, taking him from point A to point B, protect him. And then like the other 4 were kind of just like little missions with the Mandalorian. So I just don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that type of show would get nominated. I'm all about it. Love Star Wars. But I don't know. I just with Euphoria being left out, it makes this celebration of Mandalorian being nominated a little less fun for me because if Euphoria and Mandalorian got nominated, I'd be like, yes, let's go. Those are like my two favorite shows last year. But I mean, you left out Euphoria, which is to me clearly the better show. That's kind of my gripe. And you guys haven't seen it, so you can't comment on it. But that's my gripe.
No. I think the one takeaway is just never underestimate the power of Disney, because they would have been pushing so hard for this show to get as many nominations as they
popular, man. It's hard to over.
Apparently, they didn't push very hard, though. That's the thing for the drama. They pushed for other categories, but not for this. Maybe because they just thought, like you said, the technology. Well, maybe just because they said the technology was so impressive. Maybe they just said, "Hey, the technical aspect of this show was so impressive that even if the story and the writing isn't as good as Euphoria, for example, that's why we did it."
Exactly. The puppetry, Baby Yoda, a puppetry. It's
amazing. I think there's actually an episode on the Disney Gallery show as well on the puppetry and all that as well. So the way they've blended this insane like new technology with just that classic Baby Yoda stuff and all those puppetry and stuff, it's amazing. I think it's great. Like I said, I would be so happy for this just completely take out all those technical awards. I'm not up to date on much television. I don't watch a lot of like recent television. I'm so behind.
I'm on the same. Yeah,
I'm bad. I did watch Ozark and Euphoria and Mandalorian, but like Succession, a lot of HBO shows and stuff that I've been slacking super hard. It's just hard. Yeah. Like even shows I like F is for Family is a Bill Burr Netflix show that came out, and it's an animated show.
Umbrella Academy too.
Yeah, that one came out, and I watched a little bit of that. Never finished it. I did watch The Boys, but then the F is for Family.
I'll be watching that though.
I watched all 3 seasons of F is for Family, and then the 4th season came out, and I just watched a couple episodes and stopped. I can't get into it. I don't know. I just so bad about watching TV. So bad.
Yeah. I can't stand just waiting a year for a program. So there's very few shows where I will actually watch when they're on. So if there's something I'm interested in, I would like stockpile it. So I've never watched an episode of Game of Thrones because I was like, I'm just going to wait till it's finished because
I know, right? I'm the same.
Yeah.
I wait.
So did you, Ryan. We both binged just Game of Thrones.
Chris Stuckman said in his video was just like me. Like, why would I watch a show where I'm watching it? What if it gets canceled? Like 3 seasons, exactly kind of like a Daredevil, like it got canceled.
I didn't even watch the 3rd season because it got canceled. Because I was like, I love the first 2, and then the 3rd one came out, was a little late to the party, then it got canceled. I was like, no, I don't care anymore.
No, you're right.
Like with Game of Thrones, it was in its final season. I binged that. Breaking Bad, I didn't see that obviously when it came out. Yeah, and then Better Call Saul as well. It's going to get a 6th season, so that will be a perfect time for me to binge that. And just all these shows. I'm like a binge-worthy guy. I like to watch episodes when they're available, like back to back and forth. And like something like an amazing show like Mandalorian, I'll obviously watch opening week.
Well, talk about shows that we've been watching. We talked about movies. I got into How I Met Your Mother.
I heard the ending's awful.
I enjoyed that.
The finale's awful. I heard.
I haven't seen that.
Terrible ending. Terrible ending. That's one of those shows that I just watch. I think maybe it was maybe the first 4 seasons I didn't watch, and then I sort of started going through them, and then towards the end I was watching them as they were on. And that's one of those shows where you're like, I've just invested so much time in this. Whereas if you maybe binge it over a couple of months, it doesn't hurt so much.
I won't.
But when you've actually invested all this time, you're like, what the?
It kind of I've never been a Friends guy, and it feels like How I Met Your Mother kind of out friends, in my opinion.
I wouldn't go that far.
Buddy Jay Vaders would be ripping you apart, Colin.
Actually, you know what out friends and all sitcoms is that 70s show, which is the greatest sitcom of all time.
Never been huge on that one.
That's
either.
An unpopular
I'm a Friends
opinion.
guy. I grew up with Friends, of course, as a kid in the 90s, so it was Friends Mania. Yeah. And I love that show. That's the one show
that 70s show.
I do like that 70s show, but I haven't seen it for a long time.
Yeah, that's my show. We got off topic. What are we talking about, Ryan? What are we talking about?
The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah,
Mandalorian.
It's big. What's that show? What's Baby Yoda? Oh, there's Baby Yoda. Anyway, so
I need to get one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on
Baby, I need one.
Amazon. $25 in America.
$25,
Alright.
man.
What a
I gotta
deal!
look into it.
It's such a great.
What's
deal.
the currency in Australia? What is it called?
Dollars, Australian dollar.
Oh,
So,
it's just- okay.
so like $20 US is probably about $35 in Australian.
Yeah, you could probably
Australian
get this for
currency.
like $20. Like, it's that cheap.
Yeah.
Look into
So yeah, I'm just blown away by all these nominations for Mandalorian. Just I have no thoughts on the other shows, but also, what was it? El Camino got 4 nominations for TV movie. You didn't know that, Colin. That's good. Yeah, very good movie. So now I think we should just go to the next Disney Plus news right here and talk about Hawkeye. We got confirmation Hailee Steinfeld has been cast as Kate Bishop, and Hawkeye is eyeing to begin filming in October this year. We shall see. So, Colin, take it away, man. I know you had something to say.
Dude, I'm so pumped. Actually, Hawkeye is an underrated character. I've always liked Hawkeye.
Yes, I agree.
Age of Ultron, I actually just finished watching Age of Ultron. Speaking of that, I forgot to do my Letterboxd review. I never forget to do that. You know me. I'm a Letterboxd.
Always. Why, Colin? You're on your. Get back on your A game.
I'm a Letterboxd junkie. I forgot. So when I looked at my thing and I said what I was watching, I went on Letterboxd and I forgot to do Age of Ultron. So I watched that, if anybody cares. And yeah, that's kind of where you get most of his character development. But I'm looking forward to a show. It's pretty interesting. And Hailee Steinfeld, dude, she is so good. She's such a great actress. Yeah. Bumblebee is absolutely fantastic. And what makes that movie so great is it focuses on the Transformers stuff, but then it's characters that aren't just yelling and screaming and just hot chicks on motorcycles. I mean, we all like seeing it, but at some point, the character development of Bumblebee was great. But she was fantastic in that movie. Cannot wait. Dave, what's your thoughts, man?
I think she's fantastic. Like you guys would have seen True Grit.
That's her best performance, I think.
Yes, she's incredible in that movie. How young was she there? She was like 14 or 15 years old or something. Yeah, insanely good for
Oscar nominate. Did she win or did she get nominated?
She was nominated. I don't think she won it.
She was great.
I don't think she won. But she was incredible in that movie, and I feel like she maybe hasn't done as much as she probably should have since then.
Yeah, Edge of 17. You got
that was brilliant as well. Bumblebee, I really liked. I'm not a huge Transformers guy. I don't really like the Transformers films, but Bumblebee, I thought was great. And then she did those, I think, Pitch Perfect movies as well.
Yeah,
I think she's in a couple of them, but I think she's fantastic. I think
Spider-Verse too. Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
that's right.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I honestly did not know that. I swear.
No, but she's a fantastic performer, and I'm really excited to see her in the MCU. And see what
I can't wait to see her in Spider-Verse too.
I wonder if obviously we have characters from movies going into shows. Do we have characters from the shows going into the movies? And then the people, more importantly, people that haven't seen the shows and be like, who the heck is this person? You know what I mean? So I wonder if that's a good question.
I can only imagine this series will probably go back to the lawsuits of Civil War. Hawkeye's kind of a criminal. Team Cap. Somebody brought up. I think this is going to be a lot of lawsuits or something like that. I forgot who said that.
Sounds like they're setting up a lot of stuff for like the new. Like she could be the new Hawkeye. They're setting up.
Well, a lot of the, I guess, more rumors that are going around is that they're trying to set up the new Avengers or the Young Avengers. So someone like Hailee Steinfeld would then take over the role of Hawkeye in the new team. So Kevin Feige has said that the characters from the films will translate, from the TV series will translate into the films. So if you miss a piece of a puzzle, we're getting to this part where there's so much media now. If you miss a little piece of the puzzle, you're probably going to be really lost. I mean, it's been okay up until this point. There's only been like 20 movies. If you miss one or two, it's okay. But now there's so much media now. I feel like you're right. That's the one thing I worry about is like, if you miss this Hawkeye series, hang on, who's this? Who's this new Hawkeye? When you get to that, the next Avengers film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie characters going in the shows and the people not watching those shows is not a biggest deal.
Yeah.
And the characters from the show moving into the movies and just kind of confuse stuff, unless they were to just kind of almost reintroduce the character in a way, but then it'd be weird for the people that did watch it. It's kind of weird. You mentioned the new Avengers, or the Young Avengers or whatever. I don't know if I like that because like I said, it's kind of my same problem with MCU Spider-Man. I just want adults like saving the world. I don't want kids doing it. It's just I just can't buy into 16-year-old kids saving the
I'm
world.
not,
Scott
I'm not
Lang's
huge on
daughter,
the Young
too.
Avengers. Yeah, I'm not huge on the Young Avengers. I don't know if I like that idea really, but
It feels very
something different.
It just gets less and less. I don't want to say relatable because I love coming of age movies, and those are movies that are supposed to be kids in their in high school age and stuff like that. So I don't even want to say that, but it just so it doesn't become less relatable. But for a superhero movie, I just think I don't know. I would not want a young Avenger if that's what the direction they're going, which I don't think it is because we're getting we still have Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Those are going to be older characters for sure. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the young Avenger type thing.
Yeah, but regardless for this Hawkeye show, you already got me pumped with Hailee Steinfeld, Jeremy Renner, and the storyline, and just you got me pumped already. They're beginning to film in October, supposedly. We'll see with COVID-19 and all of that. Yeah, so all around, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wonder when that comes out. WandaVision as well, Loki. Seems like you're getting a great plan set up for the Disney Plus shows and the movies as well. Yeah, I could not be more excited for this. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the movie news, gentlemen. Some great news topics right there. I just want to get into all the fun and the shenanigans we got in store here. So, Colin, I'm going to let you take a guess what we're doing next.
The Culture Project. Should we tell
The Culture Project. What?
Should we let in Dave what the Culture Project is?
Yeah, so the Culture Project is a new segment we started a few weeks ago where Colin and we pick movies for each other that we haven't seen before. Maybe in a genre we're not strong in, like we haven't seen a lot of movies in, or like big movies that are considered classics that we haven't seen yet, that we got to get on that. Basically, we pick one movie for us each week to watch that we haven't seen. And then on the podcast, we give our thoughts on that movie. And then we assign a new movie the next week. Cool. So last week, Colin picked for me to watch The Spectacular Now. And I picked Colin for him to watch Hacksaw Ridge, a war movie and a romance coming-of-age movie. So Colin...
Do you want to go
Colin, first? You're going to go first.
I'm going to go first. Okay. Have you seen Hacksaw Ridge, Dave?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. So
it's an Australian film, did you know?
Is it?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson directed it. Yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, I knew he directed it. Just forgot that he's Australian.
Sort of. He's American, but he spent his childhood out here.
Yeah, for sure. So, Hacksaw Ridge. I saw it. And it's awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
good.
This is kind of my review of it. I was shocked with how much of his life not in the war did we see. We got to see his life in with the romance, and kind of you understand immediately why he's a pacifist with what happens early in the movie when he almost kills his brother, and you're like, oh wow, okay, I can understand why that freaked him out, and he completely wanted to change his ways. You understand why he's a pacifist. Love interest, his relationship with his dad, really bought into all that stuff.
Hugo Weaving was so good in this movie.
Fantastic. And then Andrew Garfield, which I don't think he was nominated for an Oscar, was he?
He was.
Okay. I was going to say, if he didn't, that was a snub. He was great. Really loved his performance. And then the movie's kind of almost a little funny in the beginning. It has some sweet, like, not like hysterical, it's a little charming. Like I thought found it kind of cute and endearing. And then it just takes a hard fucking left turn. Oh my God. The action and war sequences here are brutal.
God.
It's the closest thing to Saving Private Ryan I think we've ever gotten.
Bro, the shot when the soldiers are on the bottom and then the battle goes on, like, oh my God.
So
brilliant.
I was just the guts flying, the blood, the insane nature, and then just when he's on Hacksaw Ridge and he's saving all those men, he saved the 75 people. This happened in real life. So shout out to the Desmond Doss, like the real life guy who I think he died in like 2006 or something like that. So absolute hero, and it's unbelievable. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars in Letterboxd. I've given loved it, thought it was great. There's a couple little parts here and there I would say, as far as negatives, I'd say it's a little cheesy a little bit. Like I think kind of almost intentionally. It kind of felt a little bit even like a soap opera-ish and like a little heavy on slow-mo. There's a part where I laughed when I probably shouldn't have laughed, where there's a grenade in the air and he freaking kicked it and then hit it with his hand. And it was supposed to be like this dramatic moment.
That was awesome.
It was supposed to be this dramatic moment, but I thought it was a little over the top. But besides a little quibbles over there, I really love this movie. I like I said, it was kind of charming in the beginning, really set up the character, and then just nonstop war action as you see this guy getting his respect from his fellow comrades. Vince Vaughn, what
a performance!
Absolutely amazing. I loved it. It might be
crazy. No, Sam Worthington, dude. You're forgetting Sam Worthington. He was great.
From Avatar, he was good as well.
What a cast, dude! This cast, like, they're not like big A stars. Like, this is like a kind of like a mid-level cast. They're all great in this movie.
Yeah, so I don't know if I like it more than Saving Private Ryan, but I definitely like it better than 1917. I definitely like it better than.
It's close. I'd probably give the edge a little to 1917, but it's right there.
I think slightly it was overhyped. I really enjoyed it. I think it was just a tad overhyped, but really enjoy Hacksaw Ridge. Dave, did you have any thoughts on it before we kind of move on to Ryan's stuff?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember, really good, really just visceral war film. And Saving Private Ryan's my favorite war film of all time. And I agree, it's one of the closest things to something that's just real gritty and real, and the violence is so like over the top. I mean, with a Mel Gibson film, that's what you got to expect.
I saw it with my friend who had never seen it either too, and we were both like, just in certain parts, like, oh, like just, and then even in the beginning when he hits his brother with the brick, we're like, holy crap, like,
oh my god.
Like and then just the war with the guts and stuff, and the parts there's a part where they're crawling, and then like the Japanese guy just jumps up and is like, ah, and I'm like, oh my god, we're like holding the blanket, like, oh my god, like it was like a white experience. Yeah, I mean, a few cheesy moments here and there, but I think that's just kind of Mel Gibson's like kind of the heroic, man, I think that's it's kind of a little, I don't want to say tongue in cheek. It's not like Django Unchained or anything like that, but it's like it's a little cheesy in certain instances. But I really dug it. I mean, like I really, really, really did love it. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, my favorite movie of 2016 easily is Hacksaw Ridge. I love this movie. I love everything Colin just said. It's amazing.
My dad hated the movie. By the way.
Know. Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's surprising. All right. So, Spectacular Now. This movie is directed by James Ponsult. He did a movie I absolutely hated, The Circle, with Emma Watson. Yeah. But regardless, this movie's amazing. This movie's
great. You liked it?
Yeah, it was really great, dude. Super emotional. Like, my God, this movie, it gets to you, man. But Miles Teller, I'm debating if this is his best performance or Whiplash. I'll probably go with Whiplash just slightly.
I'll go with Whiplash too, yeah.
Yeah, but he's great in here, Miles Teller. Some great scenes. People say he just plays the typical drunk college kid or drunk high school kid, but no, he's got a lot of personal problems in his life. He's not a perfect person. Just his performance was great. Shailene Woodley, she's really, really attractive without makeup. She's great in here, Shailene Woodley. Jennifer Jason Leigh is great. Kyle Chandler as the father is great. Who am I fan? Brie Larson. If you hate on Brie Larson, watch her in The Spectacular Now. She is great in here. Who else is in this movie?
I think you nailed it. Bob Odenkirk's Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, he plays the boss in here. He's in it a lot, but he's great. Just a coming-of-age story as well as a romance story in here. It's got some of the funniest scenes, too, where, like, go tell off your mother. I make my motherfucking choices. Like, great scene. Yeah. The ending, too, is like, oh, my God, you don't know what's going to happen left to right. Predicted a lot of things that were going to happen. I was wrong, but great ending. A few little things I wanted to happen, but they just kind of glossed over in certain scenes. That would probably be my only issue with the film. Like, some things didn't make sense here, but regardless, it's one of the best acted films that's pretty underrated that more people should see.
One thing I wanted to hit on too. I love how in the movie in the movie, Miles Teller's character is really popular. He's kind of the life of the party kind of guy, and Shailene Woodley's character is very, subdued, very quiet, shy girl. But them dating, it wasn't like she's like, oh my god, I'm dating this like hot popular boy, like I just want to impress him. Him dating her was just kind of like a nice surprise for her, and you could tell he actually did care for her, and it was a relationship that you probably wouldn't normally see a popular guy, unpopular girl, but it just felt so natural. And there's even like I'll just get like kind of inappropriate for a second here, but there's even a sex scene in this here that felt so real, and it wasn't. Real. They didn't make it like super not romanticized, but they didn't make it super like dirty or gross or anything. It felt just like beautiful. Like, oh wow, these two people, they love each other and they're making love. Like it just, they depicted it very.
It felt real. Yeah,
and most of the movie is just people sitting in rooms talking. I mean, that's all there is, and it's one of my favorite coming of age movies of all time. So, what would be your grade?
Probably same with you as Hacksaw Ridge. Probably an A. I wish a certain instance that happened in the movie was addressed a little bit more.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. I don't know. Dave, have you seen The Spectacular now?
I thought I had, but I'm trying to. I've like looked through I've got an app on my phone that tells me what like my movie collection. I don't have it, so I don't think.
Well, I don't want to spoil it for Dave. It's a great movie. You should definitely check it out, Dave.
Yeah. Do you like great age type movies?
Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Love them.
It's a great romance and coming of age movie.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. And I will say, Ryan, I knew you loved it because I was watching Zach Pope's stream and you said it, and I was like, I got it spoiled for me on how you felt about the movie because you had said you loved it.
Today?
Yeah, today. Yeah. As the point of recording this. Yeah, I saw it on Zach Pope's stream. I saw you submit a question. And I was like, hey, he loved the movie.
That may have been Cody.
Oh, was it Cody?
That may have been Cody in that instance.
Oh, so it wasn't you. He might have just
account. Yeah, he might have. Yeah,
he watched it too. He watched it too.
Yeah, he watched it too. Yeah.
What did he?
No. Yeah, he watched the movie. He loves it as well. He saw it before me.
Oh, so he saw it. Okay, because he's a big Miles Teller guy. I know that.
It's his second favorite actor, Miles Teller.
Yeah. Great stuff, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We've been hitting, dude. We've been doing good last week.
Yeah, we're picking great movies for us to watch, man.
So, what's your pick for me this week?
I'm going old school.
Okay. I know what you're going to do.
Casablanca.
I knew it, dude.
I'm going old school. Bro, this is one of the greatest movies ever made, dude.
Wait to watch this, dude. I'm so excited to watch Casablanca because I know what it's about. Don't even tell me. But I know people are hyping it up. And, dude, I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see
Here's looking at you, kid.
This is the greatest film ever made.
You think so?
It's one of my favorite films ever, and whenever anyone asks me to recommend a film, I will always go to Casablanca. It's my go-to because this is the single most perfect film. Not that I want to hype it up too much for you, but I think it's the single most perfect film ever made. Take note of how incredibly perfect the script is,
the editing,
the cinematography, the acting, everything. The movie is incredible. It is the single most perfect film ever made.
And do you have HBO Max, Colin?
I do have HBO.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I do have HBO Max. Yeah, so I will watch it then, man. I'm very excited. Looking forward to it. Okay, so my pick for you is going to be very different, actually. It is I'm going to do. We've never done this before. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm going to make you watch the first 2 episodes of Chuck on Amazon Prime. Because that is the length of a movie.
Oh my god!
So you have to tell me, and if you want to continue to watch the show, you can. If you don't, it's fine. The first 2 episodes of Chuck, I think you'll really like it. And it's basically like the first. It's basically like watching a short film. It'll be 45 minutes each. So yeah, it's like an hour and 30 minutes of the first 2 episodes of Chuck. That's what you're gonna watch.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime. Have you seen that show, Dave?
No, I haven't.
That show's amazing. So,
Colin's like, every time I ask this, nobody's seen it.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I think you'll really like it. So, like I said, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but just watch the first 2 episodes and tell me what you think.
I'll tell you what I think, and if I love it, I'll probably binge it.
Okay, there you go. It's got 5 seasons. It's got Zachary Levi in it, who of course played Shazam.
Oh yeah.
And, so yeah, man.
I hear great things. Yeah.
So there we go. That was the Culture Project.
All right, that is the Culture Project. All right, so now let's go to fan questions. We we didn't get a lot, but I figure let's answer some awesome questions. Starting from Twitter, from Jacoby Porter. Do you even... if there's a...
I read his.
If there's a movie that you're not looking forward to, or in a genre or subgenre you don't like, that you should go in with them. I'm confused by the question.
We'll have to skip it. Sorry, man.
All right, sorry, Jacoby. It's a little confusing. Danny Z, which movies from the 2010s would you love to see come back to the theaters? I think we pretty much said Inception. That's coming out. And are you excited for the upcoming Phineas and Ferb movie? Candace Against the Universe for Disney Plus, HBO Max or Hulu? Are we excited for the Phineas and Ferb movie? I never really got into Phineas and Ferb
series.
No, I mean, no, not really. As far as the movie I wouldn't want to see come back in 2010s is definitely The Social Network and maybe The Wolf of Wall Street or something like that.
Whiplash, Mad Max Fury Road, and IMAX. Blade Runner 2049 in IMAX.
I never saw Mad Max in IMAX.
I
didn't even see the cinemas. Actually, I didn't even see it in the cinemas.
Did you see it? Have you seen the movie?
Oh yeah, I've seen it twice. The first time I watched it, I wasn't huge on it. I watched all the Mad Max films recently. I know I'm really bad. This is the first time I've actually watched the original Mad Max films, like Australian classics. I've only just recently watched them. So I watched all of them. I actually had a deep appreciation for Fury Road after watching the first three. Oh, so good. So good. I would love to see that.
Hate this man, though.
Are you familiar with my thoughts on Mad Max?
Oh, my God, this guy.
No.
It's my most hated movie ever.
Really?
This movie.
It's my least favorite movie of all time, I think.
Wow. Go back and watch the original films and then rewatch it and come back to us.
I might do this for a culture project.
Have you seen the original ones, Ryan?
Please,
of course, yes.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I'm begging you, mate, to not make me watch.
Do it.
I will. I might. I'll figure out a date when.
That's a challenge for you. Culture Project franchise challenge. So you got to watch like 3 or 4 films.
I don't know if we can swing. I don't know if we could swing a whole one.
Watch Mad Max, then Road Warrior, then Beyond Thunderdome, then Fury Road again.
Oh my! I think I would quit. I think Dave would be.
Colin would kill himself. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so 2010s, yeah, that's pretty much what we would want to see there.
You said HBO or Hulu?
HBO Max or Hulu. I got rid of my HBO Max account for now. Or Hulu. HBO Max. I mean, they got a lot of great stuff on there. If you're into the shows they got on there, like Friends and all that.
It's just
Rick and Morty.
Too expensive.
Too expensive. That's my big issue with it. And Hulu, I got Colin's account. They got Drake and Josh on there. I love watching Drake and Josh on there. Yeah. So
Dave, do you like Hulu? What's your streaming service of your choice?
We don't have Hulu here. We don't have HBO Max yet. We have Netflix. No, we don't have Hulu. Don't have Hulu yet. We've got a local streaming service called Stan, and I don't have that. But a lot of the like exclusive shows from Hulu, HBO, all the like exclusive programs from other streaming services we don't have here sort of get forwarded over onto this Stan. So we've got that. We've got Netflix. We've got Disney Plus.
I was gonna say now that Disney owns Hulu, you probably will get it soon.
I think they are talking about it, launching it here soon.
Hulu's been around for
not at the moment.
Not in Australia. That's super weird.
Yeah. Well, we only got Netflix 5-6 years ago, maybe. Not maybe a little bit longer ago than that, but not. We haven't even had Netflix for that long.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. Joey's movie blog. What got you guys into collecting physical media? I guess I'll start this one off. For physical media, I've been collecting since 2014, and it's pretty much a great experience all around. What was the first Blu-ray I purchased? I don't even remember, but it's just, you have your love for movies and all that. Pretty much I just go for a lot of the cheap stuff that I like. It's pretty much getting the cheapest of what you can get and then waiting for the right times like Black Friday, exclusive sales, Criterion's. That's something I need to get into. Just finding the right deal for yourself, basically. Mm-hmm. And I just continued from here on there. And now I have like over 600 Blu-rays now. All right, Dave?
I've always been, I guess, around physical media. So when I was growing up, it was VHS. We never really had a big VHS collection, but my grandmother did. And she had it set up like it was like a little library. You'd go in there, you could borrow one of her videos, and she'd cross off on the book so she knew who had what video at the time. Yeah, VHS. And I guess, yeah. So I grew up in that like VHS era, just watching movies physically, going to Blockbuster and picking out the 5 movies for the week and a couple of overnighters. And then when DVD started coming in and the video stores kind of started fading out, that's I think when we sort of got into actually buying the movies ourselves, because they became so cheap at that point, and it was like, oh, we'll just buy one here and there. And it was at the point where it was like as cheap to buy a movie as it was to like rent one at some point. So. And our collection has just ballooned since then, obviously. But I'm huge on collecting things physically. I want to put my money into a physical product and have it. And I don't like what a lot of the studios do with digital. They put something on streaming and then they rip it off. I was in the UK. I spent a year and a half in the UK recently. And in the lead up to Avengers Endgame, I wanted to watch a bunch of the MCU films. I didn't have any of my collection with me. And I couldn't find any of them on any streaming service. This was before Disney Plus or anything. So just having to rely on a streaming service to be able to watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it, I just hate that. I hate that idea. So I collect everything physically, and I know if there's a movie that I need to watch for any reason or I want to watch at any given time, I just go to my collection. It's there. I'm just not a big streaming guy. But that's really the whole crux of, I guess, collecting physical for me.
Yeah, that'll be a question I'll ask you guys after. Colin, when did I know you started collecting physical media? When?
I started it collecting this year. Actually, I started
this year?
January of 2020, and I have over 100. I've kind of went. I've kind of so
that's good. That's good.
I have about, I would say about like 110 or something like that. So I try and get about 5 to 10 a month, something like that. And I've had a really good time doing it. Some of my favorite movies of all time I still don't have on Blu-ray, and I kind of want to get some, but I just look for good prices. I mean, sometimes I'll walk into 7-Eleven to get some Skittles, and then like just like $4 Blu-rays, so it's like I got to get it, So I've been doing it this year, and the reason why I did it is because I'm reviewing more movies than I ever have, and I'm I have a movie channel because I started it this year. I started my movie channel this year, so I just thought it was a good way to just, I could do Blu-ray hauls now. It's something I kind of always wanted to get into and own and have for a while. So that's kind of why I did it.
I think that's important. I've got so many here that I haven't watched, like literal hundreds of movies I haven't watched. And it does get to a point sometimes where I'm like, oh, I got to watch a movie for a video or something that I've never watched. It's there. So I've got it, and I've stockpiled a lot of stuff that I know that I just want to watch at some point in my life, or that I know I will have to get to. I recently bought all the DreamWorks films because I know at some point I'm going to do like a ranking video on them.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of recommendations for that. So this is a good question that a lot of people have been asking me. Is there going to come a point in time where physical media is going to be gone? Like going to die very soon?
I don't think so. I really don't, because I go to to get Blu-rays, and they're places they're all like you get the new release, like the way back or onward or whatever, and they're gone. People still get physical media. Ford v Ferrari, I had to get the ones on 4K because all of them were sold out. I think
it's just an interesting topic. A lot of people, I know my buddy Jay Vader's made a video recently, is physical media dying with the rise of streaming services now with Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu, now Peacock. I always support physical media no matter what. I want to keep it up and rising, support stores, local stores, and buy the movies I don't have and want to watch. And just like Dave, there's so many movies in my collection that I haven't seen, and that's why I buy them, because it piques my interest. And Dave, do you feel the same way?
I think there's always going to be a place for physical media. I mean, I know probably the vast majority of people don't buy physical anymore. Most people are shifting towards streaming, but there's still the sales of physical media are nowhere near as high as they were 10 years ago at the height of Blu-ray. But I think there's always going to be a place for them. And what we're seeing a lot more of now is what are they called? These boutique labels. So it's stuff like your Criterions, your Arrow, your Eureka. So independent labels who are pardon?
Steelbook.
Okay, no, yeah,
Steelbook.
yeah, all those kinds of things. You're getting a lot of these independent labels popping up who are releasing studio movies or are re-releasing films that studios have let go out of print. So what I think we're probably going to see going forward is a lot of the studios are going to drop out from releasing films themselves. Disney don't release much of their back catalog physically anymore. So I think we're going to see the studios themselves focusing on their streaming services, while we'll see a lot of these independent labels buying up the rights to physically release films. The only bad thing about that going forward is probably that physical media is going to get a lot more expensive, because it's going to become more of a niche sort of market thing. But I think there's always going to be a market there. And whether it is the studios releasing stuff or these independent boutique labels coming out with things, there'll always be something there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Lewis Guy, out of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Fast and Furious, Halloween, and James Bond, which franchise would you least and most want to stop making movies?
Halloween, 100%.
Yeah, the Halloween franchise is getting kind of formulaic, same old movies. I'm looking forward to the two sequels. We'll see what they do for those. Probably Fast and Furious for me. I know Colin disagrees. Colin leaves the chat.
I love Fast and Furious movies, obviously.
It's about time for them to end, find an ending. No. James Bond, definitely not. DC.
I could care less about James Bond.
No. Dave, any franchises?
I'm not like a huge horror slasher thing, so I'd say give Halloween the boot. But I know a lot of people out there love it. A lot of people love all these franchises. I've never been huge on James Bond myself either. I enjoy the movies, but I've never been huge on it. If they stopped making James Bond film, it wouldn't bother me at all.
No.
I really did not like the last one. Oh, Spectre was awful.
Spectre, yeah. What a disappointment.
So I'm like on the fence about this next
I'm looking
one.
forward to seeing that, because a lot of people it's like a lot of people hate on it for sure.
It was way too long and just disappointed. But No Time to Die, I'm excited for.
I think I'm on the fence. I don't know. I loved Casino Royale and Skyfall, but the other two Craig ones have just been so like it's a mixed bag. So we'll see.
See, I don't even like Casino Royale that much. I thought it was kind of just boring. Like in my opinion, like I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
So even the good one I don't like.
Yeah, and Spectre with Sam Mendes doing Skyfall and Spectre, so he made it up for 1917, so that's good. Anyway, now that's it for Twitter questions. Now let's go to you. Oh, we got one more on Twitter. Do you think theaters will shut down after they first open? There could be a possibility they would. Depends what the case. I know it happened to you, Dave. Right?
Happened to us. Theaters were open maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then they've closed down again because we spiked. They've just closed in like rural Victoria, which is like sort of like out bush, out in the country, or country regional areas. They've been open a lot longer because there haven't been as many cases of the virus out there, but the virus is starting to peek its head down there as well. Yeah. So all their theaters are closing too. So it's so much worse over there. And I just see all these countries and I'm thinking you're just opening up so quickly, like far too quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I do think so. You got to find the right time. I think next year, January or February 2021, that would be the safest time to open up the theaters again. We'll have a vaccine and stuff like that. Since there's not, cases go up and there's more problems, more shutdowns. Like it's just too early for me.
Yeah. I honestly don't think we'll get a big film this year. I think all the big movies this year are just off the table. Just throw them off the table. We're not getting anything this year.
Yeah, I agree. Colin, do you agree?
Yeah, I mimic everything you guys said.
Yeah.
Keep it short and sweet.
Unfortunately. All right, Zachary from YouTube. Ryan, what made me want to be a musician? So when I first, before I was in the YouTube space, I was a percussionist. So what made me want to be a percussionist? Well, I started doing music in middle school, and I started out doing trombone for a year with my brother Cody. I didn't really like it as much, and then I wanted to do percussion. And then in 8th grade, I just love percussion more. I love rhythm in the band, and then just throughout high school, just doing percussion. It was just a lot of fun. And I always just wanted to have fun doing it. And we enjoy music growing up, and that's how I wanted to do it. And then I found a love for movies after I saw Winter Soldier. So here I am today. Dave, he asked, what made you want to start YouTube?
Me? Oh. I've always been, my thing has always been films and filmmaking and stuff. It's something that I've just always wanted to get into, and I've had so many little ventures over the years just trying to get stuff done. I had a television series I co-hosted and produced and wrote on local community television here a number of years ago. Did a couple of seasons of that, and after that finished, it was just sort of the next logical step for me was trying to get stuff done on YouTube and online media when this sort of whole explosion happened the last few years. And I found it just a really good outlet where I've had some sort of, minor success, more so than any of my other little ventures in the past. And I've stuck with it and really enjoyed it. Love it.
Right on.
And then Colin, he asked you, since you're a teacher, what is one movie you love to teach to a class?
That I would love to teach to a class. Maybe Dead Poet Society. That's like a teacher movie, I guess. Besides that, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I teach middle school, so it's you have to do family friendly. I don't know about teaching to a class, but like just showing to kids, like The Sandlot. I would love, that's like kind of one. Remember the Titans is a good one. Kind of those inspirational type movies. But I don't know about teaching. I don't know if I'm the right guy to teach somebody about film, but I can show them films I like. So I'll do that.
All right.
I showed them. What did I show them last year? I showed them Coraline or something, that like animated movie.
Oh, messed up movie.
I showed them that. We watched Winter Soldier one day. Yeah. and it was super loud because there was like gunshots, and I was like turning it down every time it would happen. And then I think we watched Guardians of the Galaxy too. That was fun. So I had just gotten Disney Plus, so I was kind of excited.
Yeah. All right, and we're gonna answer one more question here from deep into the film's core. All right, this is for Dave. What's your advice for great ranking videos?
My advice for great ranking videos: short and sweet.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of the very first ranking video I ever did was like my top 10 Disney movies, and I'm someone who just writes too much and talks too much, and like even at like university and school and stuff, whenever it was like 1,500 word essay, I do like 3,000 word essay. I just write too much. I just write way too much. So the very first ranking video I did is top 10 Disney rankings, and I ended up writing like 2 or 3 pages for each film that I was talking about. Ended up splitting it over 2 parts. It was like the first 5 and the second 5. It was like 40 minutes all up. And then I struggled a lot with over the next few ranking videos I did. They were like just really long. It was almost like I was doing a little essay on each film. It's only the last couple of years where it's like, all right, just you have to limit yourself to how many words. It might be like 100, 150 words on each film. Just keep it short and sweet, around 10 minutes long. And that is just like, that's the attention span of most, YouTube viewers is around 10, 12 minutes. Just keep things short.
Do my MCU ranking, my first one when Black Widow comes out. It'll be my first one doing it under 15. That's my goal.
Yeah. For sure.
In my top 10 list, in my rankings, I'll sometimes have things I've said. Okay, so like I'll have like 30 minutes worth of footage. I'll whittle it down to 17 or something like that of good, didn't mess up footage. And then sometimes I'll just cut out stuff like, hey, I was a little repetitive there, cut that part out.
Oh yeah, that's all part of it.
And I do it even more to bring it down. I try and get it down under to 15 minutes if I can, and into like that 13 to 10 minute range for a ranking or a top 10 list, because I want it to be as short as possible. I was really proud when I was able to get like the Harry Potter ranking. Those 8 movies I did in 9 minutes. I was like, yes, let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying
that's
really hard to do that.
One of the fundamental.
Yeah, 15 minutes is a great time. Yeah, I was the same. My first one, I did this Oscar or most anticipated video, which was like 30 minutes long. Yeah. And the same thing, like too much talking, like say what you want, but short and precise, and then go to the next movie. That's not what people are listening for. And then you check your watch time, your YouTube analytics, and you see in your past videos how much of that video people watch. Not a lot. So it's a huge learning process, and that's a great thing to learn about. So,
well, one of the fundamental rules of writing any film, whether it's a YouTube video or it's a movie or whatever, is that you are writing until the very end. So you write your initial script, and then when you're filming it or you're recording the narration, whatever, you're still changing it. I know I sit here, I write a full script, and I might be reading through it and I go, I don't like that, don't read it or change that line. And then you're still changing your script in the edit as well. You're going, oh, this is repetitive, chop that out, or I don't like this, get rid of that. Most of my stuff scripted and narrated. And even in the edit, I go, it's got past the writing stage, it's got past the narration stage, but then once it's in the edit, you go, I don't need that line, get rid of that line. And you're still writing your video until that very last lock off. Yeah. And never be afraid to do that. Never be afraid.
Your videos are really scripted. They're kind of
your videos are excellently scripted.
Yeah, very precise. That's interesting how you do that, because when I decided I kind of wanted to do YouTube before 2020, I kind of wanted to do kind of more of the video essay stuff. It just didn't really work for me. It didn't work for my personality personally, because I don't know what it is. When I am reading something and I have to put it into a microphone, it sounds like my personality gets crushed out of me. So I had to I transitioned, kind of rebranded to my name and did that, kind of relaunched in 2020, where I was able to talk. And basically I got to the point where I've gotten pretty good about just coming things as I go along. Yeah. And so when I do a movie review, mostly I write down general ideas, little points and stuff, and then just hit on it and then try and kind of have it flow. And then, but with top 10 lists, I just completely my brain, I'm pretty good about coming with something.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, part of it too is because when I do teach, I'm talking to kids, and I just have to act like I know what I'm talking about, you know. Kind of just you just filling the conversation up, and obviously we all have our mess ups and stuff, but I think that was the big thing is how precise those reviews for those video essays that you do are really impressive, because it doesn't sound like, I don't know if it's the accent, but you sound like have so much personality behind it.
And you bring so much energy to it. I love it.
I think it's just about finding your own. Everyone has their own way of doing things, their own way of writing, creating, presenting, whatever. And there's no wrong way to do it. There's absolutely no wrong way. Do not ever try to emulate the way someone has someone's workflow, because there's just different ways different people work. And for me, I'm just need to get everything down and just have it all precisely planned.
What do you edit your stuff on?
Final Cut.
Yeah, I noticed
Final Cut.
Yeah, that's a technique I think I recognize. So I use Final Cut as well. That's funny. Yeah. I did want to mention this as well. What were we talking about before that?
We were talking about advice for ranking videos.
I can't remember what else to say, but anyway, that's cool. Oh no, I know what I said about the video essay stuff. I'm thinking about kind of redoing kind of that whole formula, trying it out, doing why the movie Election. Have you seen that movie, Dave? Election?
I think a very long time ago.
Yeah, it came out in '99, but I was to say why Election is a masterpiece and doing a video essay on that.
Yeah,
I think I could write, but I'd have to watch the movie, legit pause, write down notes, and completely dive in, and maybe watch Dave's videos and kind of gain some inspiration.
It's just like a lot of my reviews now, my 2-camera reviews, most of them are just off my head, but I will take notes and I'll do it off the last 3 or 4 years has just been, and it will be for you guys for a long time, is just trial and error. Yeah. And I have tried numerous reviews are just off the top of my head without notes, numerous reviews off the top of my head with notes, numerous reviews have been completely written, and it's just about finding what works for you. And I think I've finally found this rhythm now where I can actually do like a movie review to camera review, which I don't do a lot of, but I can usually do them off the top of my head as long as I've got some sort of notes, some sort of formula. I find it, if I've written a proper script, trying to be too perfect with it, I can sit there for an hour trying to film what's like a 5-minute video. And
have you seen Karsten Runquist? He does a lot of video essay stuff.
I think I've come across him before. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, it's like a younger guy, and his videos are unbelievably well thought out. I don't even know how he'd do that, but those are like those. He kind of like behind the camera work. And just like on the mic, kind of like what you do and stuff. But you do even both too, like you said. Yeah, you do in front of the camera. Yeah. And is that like a movie room that you do? You like have like a movie theater? And
I've got a home cinema.
Dude, that's so sick. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that home theater. When I first saw it, I'm like, wow, now I want to be there.
I saw it. I was like, I hate this guy. I hate him. No,
I'm jealous of him.
I envy him. I envy you.
Yeah.
Dave is living. I don't know. I was trying to think of an episode title. No. Dave is living in glory. I don't know. Anyway, his last question is, what's me and Colin's favorite drink? All right, I drink coffee a lot, so I'll go coffee.
Yeah, I'll go cherry Coke. If I can, I'll get cherry Coke 0 calories. I also like, cherry Coke. I like cherry Coke.
Coffee. All right, that's it for questions. Thank you guys for all the questions. Seriously, it means the world. Thank you guys for submitting questions every single week. All right, now I think we should get to the game.
All right, kids, let's get to the game.
Well, why don't you introduce the game, Colin?
Okay, yeah, I will. I was just pulling up my thing. So I want to give a shout out to Ryan's brother, Cody, who came up with all the questions for this game, because I was not the right guy to do it, and I'm not the right guy to be answering these questions. That's why we have Dave and Ryan here. Not that I know Disney and Pixar pretty well, but I just don't think I know it to the caliber that you guys do. So I couldn't participate in, and I couldn't come up with questions. So really what I'm doing is just reading the questions and answers off here, even though I'm the host of this game. So this is basically what I'm going to do. I guess we'll just first one to come up with the question. I won't say points because that's not really what we do. We kind of relaxed here, but just first ones that try and answer the question, and we'll do that. It's 10 questions, 5 of them from Pixar, 5 for Disney. Just little fun trivia type stuff. And and if you guys get it wrong, you guys suck. I have high expectations for you guys. I'm willing to bet that you guys will probably get all of them right. I have a feeling that you guys are going to be really good. All right, are we ready?
Well, how are we going to do this? Are you going to?
So I'm gonna ask it, and then you guys just both answer it as fast as you can.
Okay.
That's how I'll do it. All right. So, question number 1: in Toy Story 3, Buzz Lightyear accidentally switches to which language?
Spanish.
Okay, you guys both said it. Boom. Good job. Good job.
Ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding.
All right. Question number 2: in Finding Nemo, how did Jill get his scars?
A shark bit him. A shark bit him.
No. Do you know, Dave?
I can't remember. It's been so long. I reckon I've only watched Finding Nemo once, maybe twice.
Oh wow. Okay, he landed on dental tools when he was trying to escape.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't even remember that. That's a detail I forgot.
That's a deep cut. Good shit,
That's
Cody.
a deep cut. Okay. Question number 3. You guys suck. All right, now question number 3. In Inside Out, Riley has an imaginary boyfriend. Where does he live?
Oh jeez.
That's
as well.
Oh, I die for Riley. That guy. Candyland?
Oh yeah.
In a candy world or something?
I don't know.
No, he has an imaginary boyfriend. Where does he live? It's where you said Candyland. It says Canada. That's the right answer. Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, there you go.
So close enough.
Damn. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. In Coco, you love this movie very much. In Coco, how did Ernesto de la Cruz die?
Oh, poison his wine. He poisoned his drink.
Okay, Dave, is that your answer?
I think so.
It's actually he was crushed by a giant bell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Hector.
Yeah, you mixed it up.
Oh, he crushed a bell.
It's okay, man. It's okay. All right. So, question number 5: who trained Hercules to be a hero?
It's
Phil.
been so long.
Yeah, Phil. It's Phil. Yeah, there you go. Danny DeVito, right? Didn't he play him?
Yeah,
Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil. His name is Philocities or
Philocities. Yeah.
Philocities and Phil. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Question number 6: what is the name of Belle's father in Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, jeez. Oh, Christ.
I know he gets put in a mental institute.
I'll give you guys a hint. Starts
This
with
is a bad one. This is one of my. What's that?
starts with an M.
Oh, Maurice.
There you go.
Uh,
Good job. Good job. All right.
Oh, lucky I got that one.
What?
This is my generation now.
We're going into the Renaissance area a little bit more. Okay. What name does? Well, I'm sorry. No, question number 7. What name does Milan pick for herself while pretending to be a man? It's a great question.
Oh,
oh my gosh.
Cody picked some good questions. Dude.
Oh my god. I haven't not revisited this one in a couple years.
Simulan. Simulan's one that came out sort of.
Starts with a P.
Philip.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
barely watched as well.
It's Ping.
Ping.
I don't remember that. I never remembered that either.
Mulan's one that I never really liked. Mulan was like one that came out like sort of at that later end of my childhood, I suppose. Never really connected with that
I
one.
really enjoyed that one, but yeah, it's been a while.
This is a movie I've actually never seen. Number 8. The Princess and the Frog is set in which city?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans. I actually did know that though. I did know that first because I just know it like the character. I think I just heard it. Disney. Question number 9. Disney introduced its first open gay character in which movie?
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, Dave. Do you have an answer?
Oh, was this a recent thing?
I'm not gonna.
Because I don't know if it's so open in Beauty and the Beast. Maybe the live action one.
The live action.
It's not as open. Onward is the first one because she physically said.
Oh, Onward.
Because she said my girlfriend.
Yeah, they made LeFou gay.
It's hinted at in the live action Beauty and the Beast, but it's not confirmed. I will say even in the MCU, there's hints that Valkyrie was at least bisexual.
Yeah.
And then even Captain Marvel maybe kind of was bisexual. I don't know. All right. I'm not even. Oh wait, I have. I'm sorry. Okay. Final question. You guys have done pretty good. I'm sorry. My alarm went off on my phone. 1 second before I.
Oh my god.
This happens sometimes. 1 second.
Bruh.
That happens sometimes.
Oh, bruh.
I always forget to turn off my alarm before the podcast. Okay, question number 10. The Queen of Hearts wants her roses what color in Alice in Wonderland?
Red?
Yeah. Red.
No. Yeah, red. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
red.
my god.
Painted red,
yeah. That was it. You guys did it. You guys did pretty good. You did better than I would have done.
I did okay with the older ones.
I did all right.
some deep cuts there with some really obscure Pixar.
Damn, Cody. All right, let's close it out, gentlemen, with the movie quote of the week. Who are we gonna start with? Dave, why don't we start with you?
Oh, well, I did. Funny you suggested Casablanca before because my quote comes from Casablanca. So my favorite, I think it's one of the most quotable films of all time. There's just so many just classic lines in it. And one of my favorite lines in that, it's just so simple. It's when he's a little bit down on himself. He's sitting there at the bar with a hard drink in his hand. Of all the gin joints
in all the town,
she
walked into mine. Great line.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite line of all the cinema. Just his delivery of the line and everything.
Humphrey Bogart. Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart's my favorite actor.
Looking forward to seeing it.
All right, my quote comes from Temple of Doom.
Love that movie. My favorite Indiana Jones movie.
There are 2 dead people in here. There's going to be 2 dead people in here. Hurry! We are going to die.
Yeah, I love it. Such a great
oh my god, that scene is hilarious.
Really?
Temple of Doom. Yeah. Colin, what's your favorite? What's your quote?
My movie quote is it's a movie I just saw, Age of Ultron from Captain America. If you get hurt them back. If you get killed, shake it off or walk it off.
Walk it off.
If you get killed, walk it off. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Captain America. All right. Yeah. All right, guys, that does it for episode 20, under 2 hours. Woo! For the Fallen for Film podcast, episode 20 in the books. And Dave Lee Down Under, thank you so much, man, for joining us. This was an absolute blast for you to come on the channel. Our first collaboration as well, Dave. Before we close out today's show, of course, let our subscribers know, if they don't know who you are, where you can find you, what's coming out on your channel you can hint us at, and all that jazz.
You can find me on YouTube, of course, Dave Lee Down Under. My content, of course, is focused around movies and stuff. I got a very strong edge towards animation. I do a series called Cartoon Evolution. I've got one coming up next week on SpongeBob. Little history on SpongeBob SquarePants, which is a bit interesting. Usually I focus on like the more classic characters. This has been a bit of a more of an experiment for me. I've got this is an exclusive for you guys, even though I'm probably going to announce it later today. But I'm doing a ranking of all 58 Disney animated films towards the end of the month as well. Oh, wow. And then just general movie reviews and all that kind of stuff to look forward to. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm going to launch a podcast soon, but I don't know when. Probably sometime this month.
Yeah, plug that.
Yeah. Why don't
you dive into that? What's that all about? The podcast? Are you going to do it by yourself or what?
Well, it's called the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. Keep it simple. Keep your name on the front door, as Walt Disney always said. That was his philosophy. Keep your name on the door. It's essentially going to be my outlet to be able to talk about stuff that I maybe don't usually have, not so much don't have an audience for on YouTube, but that I don't really, I've never been able to find the right kind of content, just like general movie stuff, general life stuff. It's going to be a bit about everything, just me sitting there sharing my thoughts on kind of whatever. I feel like when I do more generalized movie stuff, the content doesn't perform as well. But then there's always people who just want to know my thoughts on whether it be recent films or older films, whatever. It's just going to be a real outlet for me to be able to just kind of talk about and share all that kind of stuff that I necessarily don't have a huge audience for on the YouTube side, and maybe try and carve more of an audience for that. I'm hoping I have like a guest nearly every episode. My dad is going to be my co-host to begin with.
Awesome. Wow.
We do a lot of stuff together. We collect together. Our collection is like a joint collection, and we watch movies together all the time and stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We can just sit there and shoot the breeze and talk stuff. I'm trying to get some guests on as well, which is obviously going to have to be like Skype stuff for now because of the whole lockdown thing. But once this is all
I recommend using StreamYard, which is what we use. We started Skype when we did the podcast, and the audio wasn't as good.
The audio was awful.
Yeah, I got to look into that. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I've just got like a full-on setup, as Walter White would say, no half measures. Or who was that? I think that was this Mike. Speech from Mike.
Mike, no more half measures.
No more half measures. So no half measures. Going full steam ahead. I've bought like new microphone gear and the mixer desk and just everything. We're gonna film it. We're gonna film it in the cinema room and just try and make it look nice, sound nice. There'll be a visual element for it, which I'll upload on YouTube. And just go all in. I just really want to make it something really special and really fun. And I think we're going to record a I'd like a test episode probably this week and next week sometime, and hopefully have the series going by the end of the month. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No, that's
Really
awesome. Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait for that. All right. And Colin, as always, if you got any closing bits you want to say, any videos and all that jazz.
Yeah, Colin Williams, look me up, do movie stuff. You guys know by now. Actually, well, if Dave Lee's subscribers come here, then they don't know. Yeah, so you guys check out my channel, do movie stuff, cool stuff. Colin Williams reviews on Instagram, Colin Williams MR on Twitter. Any movie I ever review, my first initial thoughts, new or old, C. Williams 991 on Letterboxd, active on there. I review
get that Age of Ultron review done.
I review everything except for Age of Ultron. Got to get on that, like right.
No half measures, Colin.
Yeah, no half measures. I feel like that'd
be a good episode title. No half measures.
But then the only thing is I usually always say like, hey, my MCU video is coming out tomorrow. It's gonna be late this week because I'm living in, no Wi-Fi in my house, a hurricane, so it's going to be, I haven't even filmed the review yet and it's tomorrow. So I cannot get that done. Unfortunately, I'll try and get it done on Tuesday or Wednesday. So apologize about that, guys. So it's not up yet, but I just posted my top 10 favorite comedies. So check that out.
Oh, yeah, I got to check that out. Anyway, yes, thank you, Dave, for coming on the channel. If you guys don't know Dave, his channel links are in the description below. Awesome YouTuber. He's got great content over there you need to go check out and subscribe to.
Appreciate it.
As far as for me, we got 2 movies dropping next week. We got the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, and The Tax Collector from David Ayer. I will be reviewing both of those.
I'm looking for. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I might be possibly doing a top 10 A24 movies video at some point as well. Another live Q&A at some point, so look forward to that. Colin, you're welcome to join me for that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty much what's coming out on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 20 of the Fallen for Film podcast. All my social media links are in the description below, and we'll see you guys on next week's episode. Bye, guys.